Hello everyone, welcome to Conway Video. In this video, I want to give a little bit of a rant about tools and rules. Uh, these are the two friends that have been with me for a long time in my career, and I feel that they are there with us all the time, even to this day in software development, and it's amazing how they persist. And yet I definitely have come to think that tools are much better and more useful than rules. You can probably guess what this video is going to be about, but anyway, I'll get into it. So, what are rules? Rules are things like it's best practice to keep your commit messages to 100 characters or less. Or this framework is the best framework for solving this problem, so we should use this framework. Or this the amount of tasks that you get done every day is how we know whether you're performing your job well. So if you get 10 tasks done in a day, then you're doing your job well. If you only get 5 done, then you're not doing so well. If you get 2 tasks done in a day, well, you must be completely hopeless. So those are rules. And then I'd like to contrast that with tools. What are tools? Tools are shoes. You put on shoes and they enable you to go walking. My laptop is a tool. I pick up the laptop and it has a keyboard and I can type and do things with it. I can go online and visit websites or write code or something. My phone is a tool. I can pick it up and make phone calls. Food is a tool. Or my knife and fork or chopsticks or whatever are tools that I can use to eat the food. And then the food is also a tool. It's something that I use to nourish myself, that I use to give myself energy. And so when you can already kind of see the difference and where this is going. So tools in software development are actually, I think, a very, very good thing. And I've come to believe that most of the value in software development comes out of using tools to achieve goals. So we're not just using our tools to use them, right? We're trying to do something. We want some result. We want some outcome. And so it's necessary to then have goals. But then I guess I can contrast this with another way of thinking, which is rules, which is that you should develop software this way. You should use this framework. You should follow these guidelines. You should work on these tasks and not those tasks, and so on. And what I think is that rules are around because for some reason it was necessary to put them in. So maybe the person who made the rule was in a hurry, or maybe there were a lot of people and they wanted to try and get everyone to agree on something, and they couldn't think of a better way than to just make a rule and say we're all just going to do it this way, just so that there's some way that everyone can agree on to do whatever it is that people are doing. And rules can be really useful. So I mean, there's the rule of waiting in line. If you go to a supermarket checkout and there's a few different people who need to get there, then the rule is generally that we just line up, and whoever was there first gets to go first, and everyone else kind of lines up behind them in order. And that works as a rule, because there's really not much point in jostling and fighting over who gets to go first. It's just not really going to improve things, because you don't know whether it's going to be, you're going to be the one in the front of the queue next time there's a queue. I mean, queues are such common things. So generally we've got rules about that in society. We've got rules about, people wear clothes. People don't walk around naked generally. So we've got some things that we have to have rules about. But I think in software development and in business, tools and goals are so much more valuable. Not just for the people running the business, not just for the people, maybe in the management chain, but I think for everyone. I think for developers and everyone involved in a business, tools and goals are way more useful than rules. And of course, goals are going to be different. So your goal as developer is going to be different than the goal of the CEO or the CTO of the company. So obviously, I wouldn't say that everyone's goals are necessarily the same. But I just think it's more useful as a developer for me to have goals rather than to have rules. It's more useful for me to have goals and then to have tools that I use to achieve those goals. And that gives me a lot more clarity as well. When I sit down to do some work, or someone contacts me, or there's a meeting or something, if I think in terms of tools and then goals, I have a much more clear way of framing that whole interaction and of deciding, okay, what do I want to do about this? For example, if the company has a wiki, then instead of viewing the wiki as something, oh, I must read the wiki because that's the rule, I must follow the rule in the wiki, I can think a bit more critically and think, okay, is there something useful in this wiki? So I'll just, I'll look through and I'll pick apart, oh, that looks useful, that I can use that to get this thing done on my project. Or I'll see something here that says, oh, that's useful to know that this person has this function within the organization. So now I can contact that person when I need help with whatever it is I need help with. The rule-based way of thinking would be, I have to read the wiki in order to be a good employee and to do my job properly. I just have to read it. Um, but the tool-based approach is more looking for like, okay, what value can I get out of this? Not just for the business, but also as an individual employee, how can I benefit from this? And these tools can be all over the place. They can be found in all kinds of places in the business. Um, even for example, a code review. If you're reviewing other people's code, that could be seen as a tool. It's the code review isn't something you just do because you have to do it, and so I must do this code review because everyone says that I must do the code review, so therefore I must do it, right? It could be a tool. It could be a way for you to, for example, learn how to get good at reviewing code. Or it could be a way for you to learn about what the changes are so that you understand the code base a bit better. Or it could be a tool to experiment with a different approach by suggesting, a different sort of language construct in the code review. So many different things can be thought of as tools, and then this is where the goals come in. So then you can have a few goals set up. A goal might be, I want to learn more about this or that subject. A goal might be, I want to make this part of the website faster. A goal might be, I want to increase the conversion rate on this screen. I want more customers to be happy with it and to use it and to want more of it. Um, these are goals that can be very much aligned with what the business needs, but because you're thinking in terms of goals, you're thinking in terms of something I want to achieve, and then here are the tools, here are the things I'm going to use to achieve that. Then you're going to probably have a bit more of a sense of direction and actually know what to do, rather than if you just had all these kind of arbitrary rules you were trying to follow and you didn't even quite know what they were for or why they existed. And then I guess the final thing I want to end on is that where this can be really useful is in developing new tools. So when you get a really good idea of what a business wants and what a business is trying to do, and I think almost every business is trying to do something. I mean, even if it's trying to not go broke, that's also a goal, right? A business is trying not to self-destruct or not to go down. But a lot of businesses also have positive goals, right? We want to grow this particular feature or aspect of the business within a year. We want to get more customers using this new feature. We want to get a different set of potential customers to use our product. We want to build more of these features for our existing customers, whatever the goal is. And there are so many of them. As you talk to people in the organization that you work in and get a better and better idea of what the goals of the organization are, or you're part of the organization, once you get an idea of what those goals are, you actually naturally can start to come up with ideas for tools. You can think, oh, geez, wouldn't it be nice if we had a command that we could run that just gives us this piece of data that helps us see how we're tracking? Or gee, wouldn't it be nice if we just made a few changes to the code just to make this one part of the site faster so that we could get more customers in through that site? Or, you might think of your own goals. For example, I have a goal to say get better at machine learning. So then what are some tools I can use? So there might be some library that a framework or programming language I can use, and so that's my tool. And then I've got that goal that I want to learn a bit about machine learning. Maybe I want to build a machine learning algorithm and have it run. And then so you're already halfway there. You've got the tool, you've got the goal. All you need to do is then look for an opportunity in the business you're working in or whatever you're doing to then bring those two together, to apply that tool to that goal, achieve that goal, and then achieve that milestone and get the thing that you want. So yeah, I guess basically this video is about thinking about tools and goals, thinking about something that you want, something you're trying to get, and then some kind of tool or some kind of thing that's going to help you to get to that, and how that's can be a much more constructive way of thinking than about thinking about, rules about I must do X, I must do Y, I must do Z. I must make sure that I follow this rule perfectly, because at the end of the day, rules are made to be broken, as they say, and but what we all really want is goals. We all want to be wealthier or healthier or better relationships, or whatever the goal is. So the goals can be a much more useful thing. Thanks for watching.